We are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not. Greenland, financial security. Greenland, 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 Greenland. So how did this island covered under layers of ice suddenly become the center of the world's attention? What is the reason that America is so aggressively going after Greenland? The real reason behind it is far more important than minerals, oil, or even American security. So important that it can change the entire global system. Welcome once again to Nobels Creations videos. Viewers, Greenland is the world's largest island located near the North Pole, and 80% of it is covered with a thick layer of ice. In terms of area, it is bigger than Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Indonesia. But the livable area is so small that in all of Greenland, there are only about 57,000 people living. That too along the coastal areas where the ice is relatively less. If we talk about temperature, the negative 30 degrees Celsius is something normal here, and in the northern regions, even negative 50 is part of daily life. Summer comes here only for as long as winter comes in the Middle East. Stretching it, it reaches around 10 degrees Celsius, and that too in the strong daylight. The Greenland where the cold can freeze blood. How did that pile of ice become the center of a Cold War between the world superpowers? American President Donald Trump has even said that we must make Greenland a part of America at any cost, even if we have to take help of a military operation. Not just once. Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire to get Greenland, and this insistence of Trump has made geopolitical experts worried. Greenland is definitely part of the North American continent, but politically it is an autonomous region under the control of the Kingdom of Denmark. Donald Trump wants it to become part of the United States of America. But let me also tell you, Trump is not the first person who has expressed such a desire. America has always considered Greenland a necessary part of its national security. Till 1867, Alaska was also part of Russia, and then America bought it at just 2 cents per acre. Because from the very beginning, America wanted to establish dominance in the Arctic region. At that time, for the first time, attempts were also made to buy Greenland and Iceland, but the American Congress made fun of this plan. After that, in the year 1910, U.S. President William Howard Taft tried to acquire Greenland, but again failed. After that, the real turning point came when in World War II, Germany occupied Denmark. At that time, America took the security of Greenland into its hands so that Nazi forces could not build bases there. After the war ended in 1946, American President Harry Truman offered Denmark $100 million in gold and asked for Greenland in return. Denmark, even at that time, refused to sell its land, but it did allow America to build military bases there. So one thing is clear, that Trump's method may be wrong, but he is not the first US president who tried to get Greenland. If we look at it, there seem to be several reasons behind Trump's tough stance. One reason is national security. If we look at it, Greenland's location in the Arctic is such that it lies right between Russia and America. From a military perspective, whoever has control over Greenland automatically gets better control over the entire Arctic region. But American forces are already present in Greenland. At Thule Space Base, even today, around 10,000 American soldiers are present. So then, what are they afraid of? In reality, Greenland is under Denmark, but the people living there have for a long time wanted their own separate country, which means independence. And Denmark is not a very powerful kingdom. It spends almost half of its budget in the form of funds for Greenland. But even after that, there is no army there. Trump fears that if tomorrow Greenland becomes independent, then it might demand the removal of American bases or increase the rent a lot. That is why America wants complete control of Greenland. Another point is Greenland has no army of its own. There are Danish defense forces, but Trump believes they are too weak. He even sarcastically said they could hardly defend Greenland with just dog sleds. Although his point may be partly valid, the world doubts his intentions, because America's past record raises suspicion. The US invaded Iraq under the claim of weapons of mass destruction, but nothing was found. In 1964, America attacked Vietnam on the excuse that Vietnamese ships attacked the American ship USS Maddox in the Gulf of Tonkin. But in 2005, the truth came out that no such attack had happened. In 2011, America targeted Libya. It was said that Colonel Gaddafi was committing genocide there, whereas many experts believed that in reality, Colonel Gaddafi wanted to introduce a gold dinar currency to end the monopoly of the dollar. All this was done to stop that new currency. So, looking at history this time as well, it is believed that using the excuse of threat from Russia, America wants to capture Greenland, and not just for security, but also for resources. If we move away from security, Greenland is among those few places in the world where huge reserves of rare earth elements exist. These minerals are so important that for future technology, they are called oxygen. In Greenland, the average ice layer is about 2 kilometers deep. And because this ice is millions of years old, so surely there must be unexplored resources here. According to geological surveys, Greenland is the 8th largest reserve of rare earth elements, which includes neodymium, used for magnets in electric vehicles and turbines, gallium, used in AI chips and radar systems, uranium, used in nuclear energy, and silicon, useful for semiconductors and solar panels. All these elements are very important for our future technology. You will be surprised to know that currently in the world, around 90% of the supply of these minerals is controlled by China. And recently, China has also put limits on the export of these minerals to put pressure on Western countries. It is also true that in the future, the most powerful country will be considered the one which has control over these minerals. This is also a reason why Trump wants to get these minerals of Greenland to break China's monopoly. There is no need to say, but according to surveys, only under northeast Greenland there is a reserve of 31 billion barrels of oil. And how much oil is in the rest of Greenland, you can imagine yourself. Apart from security, rare earth elements, and oil, the security of internet cables is also a major reason. As you know, the world's internet and communication system runs through cables laid under the sea. Greenland's position is such that cables passing through here connect America and Europe. Russia's ghost vessels have often been seen around these cables, and America fears that in case of war, Russia can cut these cables and disrupt the communication system. They believe that if Greenland is with America, then these cables in the Arctic Ocean will remain safe between Europe and America. Apart from this, if you look at the globe, Greenland is located at the top of our world. There is Thule Space Base, where there is UWR, that is upgraded early warning radar. This can detect any intercontinental ballistic missile launched from Russia immediately after launch.
If this missile is fired towards America, then it will not pass over the Pacific or Atlantic Ocean, but over Greenland. This means if America does not have control over Greenland, then it is a direct threat to the US mainland. And the most important reason, which no one is talking about, is a new trade route. For centuries, humans have been searching for such a route that can connect Europe and Asia as quickly as possible.
In the past, ships had to go around Africa or South America. Then Suez and Panama canals were built, which reduced journeys from months to weeks. But the Arctic Ocean route was always blocked by ice, and it was considered impossible for cargo ships to cross. Now, due to global warming, that centuries-old solid ice is slowly melting. Because of this, a new sea route is appearing, which is called the Northwest Passage.
For example, if a ship wants to go from China to London, then instead of the Suez Canal through this Arctic route, it will have to travel about 9,000 kilometers less. This means not only millions of dollars of fuel will be saved, but also 10 to 15 days of journey. So in reality, this is not just about Greenland, but about controlling this new route. The country which controls this route will be called the gatekeeper of global trade.
Russia already has the largest Arctic coastline, and it wants to impose tax on its route. If we talk about China, it wants to build a polar Silk Road here. Now America fears that if it falls behind, then the key of global trade will go into the hands of Russia and China, which is a nightmare for America. If we look closely, Greenland sits at the entrance of this entire new route.
If America becomes the owner of Greenland, then it will act like a toll plaza for this new sea highway, and that time is not very far. According to estimates, in the next 10 to 20 years, more ice will melt, and the shipping industry will start using the Northwest Passage. But if America gets Greenland, then experts believe this could trigger a new conflict in global politics. How?
Denmark is a member of NATO. The Prime Minister of Denmark has clearly said that if America tries to take Greenland by force, then it will mean the end of NATO. The basic principle of NATO is an attack on one ally is considered an attack on all. If America captures the territory of its own ally Denmark, then NATO allies could end up fighting each other.
If Trump succeeds and Greenland somehow comes under American control, then its effects on the world will be extremely serious. First, America will become the only Arctic supreme leader. Second, the centuries-old trust between Europe and America will end. Third, America can become the king of minerals, which will give a huge shock to China. Fourth, mining in Greenland can change its ecosystem, whose effects the whole world may suffer. And fifth, the local people there may lose their centuries-old culture and independence. The melting Arctic ice is opening new routes, but at the same time creating new dangers for the world. And if this happens, then like World War I and II, a new mindset may develop that whoever is powerful can attack the weak and take control. It would not be wrong to say that whatever decision is made about Greenland will be a decision for the next 100 years of the world. Now, whether it will be a decision of peace or World War III, only time will tell. We hope you will fully like and share this video as well. Thank you very much for your love-filled comments. See you in the next amazing video.